Bethany Scott here, and welcome to my channel. Today I am going to share part 2 of my Not Too Shabby shop unboxing and reveal from the Paper Pad Club of the month. I played with, I believe it was all of February's release, and yeah, I saw out of the corner of my eye as I was ending my filming that I really like the ones from January too. So they are currently on my desk, and I just have to make a part 2 to the last video, and hopefully I'll remember to link it down below. But I cannot resist these paper pads are just absolutely adorable. The little mice watering the lemon plant, the lemon cupcakes, the lemon and lavender mix. I just love the simplicity of the patterns. And so this time, instead of keeping the patterns the same from each pad, I have this idea. I'm going to mix and match. So each card, and however many I make, I don't have a number in my head, however many I make is going to have one pattern from each pack. That's my goal. So, or that's my challenge to myself, I should say. So what I'm going to do is just lay them all out and talk through what each one draws me to, and we'll just go from there. So going through these, I really like the classic arches. That's really pretty. The little page of ephemera is really cute. I'm not going to use it today, but I just wanted to point that one out. These, I love it. This is like those pillows, those fancy pillows with the little dots. I think they're really cute. And I really am gravitating towards these, the flowers. And then, these are really gorgeous. This is going to be really difficult, by the way, to stop myself from overdoing it, because I can already tell there's just a lot. And then you got to look at the other side, of course, which, oof, this is really pretty too, which that's the back side of that. So I'm going to just pull them both out, and I like the simplicity of that, but we won't use that one today. And yeah, these are all, wow, just wow. And I like the back side of that one too. So that's a lot from the purple pile. Now to pull from the lemon squeezy pile. Yeah, so I'm trying to hone in on things that coordinate. So this, I believe, would coordinate. The lemon, that would coordinate. Definitely, even the green polka dots. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Let's try this side. I really actually do like the diagonals. And the polka dots are cute, but I don't know that I like them. I do like this other side with just straight lemons. And the rickrack with the lemons is cute. I might come back to it, I might not. I'm going to use the regular rickrack though. And there's that one. And then maybe this part. So now we begin the process of eliminating by pairing together the patterns. So this is how I'm just talking it out loud. So this would go best with, I'm going to say this one. They both are geometric, but slightly different in their geometry, and I like that. Okay, so if we are going to do the waves, we want something a little bit more stringent. So that's starky and contrasty. That one's too starky. And I don't know why I love that together. So those are going to go together. All right, so I think we can pair the little with the big. I think that works. Yes. And then I really like the geometry of these bigger prints. Kind of thinking that they might go best together. We'll try that for now. And I really do like that, but yeah, I think those go together the best. And then I think the Rick Rack might get mixed. This is geometrically imbalanced, but in a good way. I think I like the big bold print with the small tiny print. I'm gonna keep that. And then I'm gonna, I don't know. I don't like any of these together. I do kind of like the Rick Rack, but I think we're gonna set these aside. These are going to be the oddballs out at this point. So this first one, I am going to do a border-like print. So I'm gonna cut it down to the A2 size card base. So 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, or sorry, yeah, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I know what I'm talking about. Measurements are going out of my head currently. It's been a crazy wild year already. So, all right, and then I'm going to make this border super thick. So I think I want it to be roughly 2 1/2. Yeah, 2 1/2 and 2 3/4. I feel like that might be too much of a border. So 2 3/4, which is basically 1.5 inches less by 4. So that should make it centered. Yeah, that's perfect. So that just gives you enough of that border that makes that border just really pop. But then you get your focal image and whatever sentiment in the middle. Really love that. Okay, so that's the first one. Now I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to do a thinner border on this one. So we're going to do 4 1/4. Oh, let's see what's the other pattern. Let's cut it according to the other pattern. 4 1/4. And we'll keep all of our cards vertical today, just for simplicity. 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And that'll be the outside, and then the interior we're going to be a little thinner, so let's see what's on the back side. Yeah, we're gonna just do 3 3/4 by 5, so a thinner border, which leaves opportunity for a bigger focal in the middle. Yeah, I like it. Simple, cute. Okay, so this one, now this is where we get bold because this is a big pattern with a big pattern. So I'm gonna actually do a split screen again, kind of how I did on my last video where there's a split screen. I'm gonna cut down this one first. So this one, we're going to do 2 3/4. No, we're going to actually do 2 1/2. Nope. Now I'm notching it down. Okay, 2 inches. So this will be the smaller print by 5 1/2. And I might bring some of this pattern or the other pattern back in, depending on what image I select. So this one will just be straight split screen. So now I got to remember my math. Okay, so this one was 2 inches. So 2 1/4 would be this pattern. All right, and by 5 1/2. So those will be together, and we'll just do a split screen. So The one is just slightly bigger, and if I don't put anything in the middle, you may not even realize one is bigger than the other. We'll see. Okay, so this one, I'm going to do a split screen again because I want the lavender on the outside to be like a border. So we're going to do a little more like 3 1/4 for this one by 5.5, and 1 inch border here. Oh, I moved it before I could make sure I was right. 1 inch by 5.5. All right, so that's that one. And then this one, I think we need to do basically like we did the first one. So that one we did 4 1/4 by 5.5 with the outside border. And then inside, we're going to really just give it some good visual aid. So 3 inches. Nope, 2 3/4. 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. 2 3/4. So 1.5 inches by 4. Okay. I'm mathing without showing my math. There's a lovely story about when I was a youth that I used to do a lot of math in my head. It never showed my work, and it would frustrate my teachers. And sometimes it gets brought up in conversations in my family. Ooh. Okay, so I'm going to do it this direction. Yes. And that direction. And ooh, this is Sophie's choice. I like it both the split screen and nope, we're gonna do image within image. I'm just gonna make the decision. So 4 1/4 by 5.5. And this one is going to be this direction. So I want enough that I can see a really good amount. So we're going to do it at 3 inches. So 1 1/4 difference. So that puts me at 4 1/4 here. Perfect. Great. Okay. Now I'm going to sort out my ephemera and I will be right back. All right, so I went ahead and laid some of these out so I could visually see them, and I realized that some of these just aren't going to end up with a sentiment, so I'm going to just leave it be, and just let the cuteness of the layout speak for itself, and if I feel the need to add one later, I will go ahead and add one later, but in the meantime, we're going to gluelessly, because I still have not found my glue since I filmed part 1. I did look, but of course children will be children, and yeah, that is just what it is. I'm pretty sure they took it because I think I remember where I put it when I moved everything down here. I can't say 100% for certain though, but I know that Danny has been trying to make a lot of things down here and has regularly snuck down here to grab some things. So I know there's not full innocence in that. I love her. She is like blossoming into a little artist and is really just turning out some amazing things. So is Ellie. So is Frankie. Frankie's like not even K4 and he's counting to very high numbers in the 40s here. So, all right. I picked the Good Things Are Going to Happen sticker. It's gold foiled, so I kind of like it. And I'm going to place it as centered as possible. I'm a little off kilter. It's not horrible though. And then this one, I'll foam dot it. I just picked a little cutesy bow from the ephemera pack. Yeah, just to be fun. It doesn't exactly fit with any of the colors, but it still works because there's a little bit of green, the whites, and it just breaks it up a little bit. And now, look at how cute that is. I mean, simple, fun, cute. All right, number 1 done. Number two, I'm not sure I want to put a sentiment. Yeah, nothing really spoke to me for sentiment, and so I'm gonna leave it for right now. I may find one later, or if I sell it, I may just keep it blank, keep it simple. I don't know. I have not figured this one out, but I really like the ephemera I picked. So the gingham, I am a sucker for a good gingham, and Jamie loves using gingham in a lot of her designs, so I am here for it. And so not used to this tape, but here we are, enjoying it. And I love this pattern, the lavender. And this, because it has lines, I'm going to try to be centered too. I feel like I'm not, but I am. And a little higher, as centered as possible. All right, and I am going to foam tape the ephemera as well, just because I can. Sometimes you just foam tape because you can foam tape. Not because it needs it, but because you can foam it. If you're a part of Debbie J's channel at all, Debbie J's Crafting Corner, there's a saying that goes around a lot, which is foam is life, and I can definitely say I was part of that conversation initially, where we just decided one day foam is life, and we craft by the crafty seat of our pants, and that's just how we do things. All right, so this one I picked the ephemera, the little guy. He is so cute, and he is watering his little lemon tree. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the really bold pattern, or the more graphic pattern, I should say. They're both bold patterns. But the more graphic pattern to the left. I think visually that reads better. And then to the right, I'm going to throw my tape runner at me, myself. And to the right, I'm going to put the bigger imagery. There. Words are hard today. It's okay. And then foam tape it. But I do want to put a sentiment on the bottom. It's kind of tealish green. It says positive thinking, positive outcome. Because he's thinking happy thoughts for his growing lemon tree. He wants it to grow and be fruitful. Haha, pun intended. So I'm going to put him a little bit above center, more than usual. And then, because this one won't be foam taped, I will, not throw it at the card. But positive thinking, positive vibes. I'm just going to marry those two sentiments together. And you can't even really tell that this graphic is, or this paper is just slightly bigger than the other by 1/4 inch. Because it just looks like it fits. But there, another cute one. Done, just like that. All right. Next, I'm going to, I think this one is just going to be sentimentless, unless I decide otherwise, but all right, now that I have my lovely, now I've messed myself up. Dun dun dun. I'm not kidding. I've mixed my stuff up. Okay, I think this is where we were at. Yes, there we go. Okay, apologies. So I am going to put the bigger pattern on the towards the opening, and then I'm going to keep my sheaths of lavender on the edge. I think this pattern is probably the cutest out of the whole pack. I don't know. Actually, that's really hard to decide. There's a lot of really cuteness going on here. All right, so this one I am going to eventually add more to. Actually, I think this one was the one I paired. Yes. So I think I'm going to add a sentiment probably up in the corner here eventually. But for today, nothing seemed to hit. So I'm going to just leave it simple. And knowing eventually I will pick an actual sentiment to go along. But I think this little tree stand kind of just anchors that corner right here and just turns it into something cute and beautiful and leaves a little space for more whimsy or anything else that just seems to hit me at the right spot. So now we're gonna do the last two, and the last two are framing. And so we have framing the pattern with the pattern. And I just love these waves. They are so cute. Thank you again, Jamie, for another inspirational paper pad set. Yeah. And I will use this rickrack at some point, because I know I love that. I love a good rickrack. I don't know why. I just always have. I think since I started way back, only like 7 years ago, but when I started shopping for baby clothes, it must have just been the trend at the time, but rickrack was in. And it was just usually two-tone rickrack, nothing crazy or exciting, but I really got into it. And or rickrack or chevron, you can basically label it either, but the chevron pattern was really in. I call it rickrack just because I've been crafting with that since, small youthage. I'm going to leave it just a hair above center, just in case I put a sentiment. I can either have the option of the sentiment right over this line of lemons or right over the edge of that corner. Just elevating it just a hair gives me the option to play with that, depending on also the size of the sentiment I do choose. There is a stamp in that came with this set that does say when life gives you lemons, but I couldn't figure out what to put on the inside, so I'm not going to use that today. But I'm going to keep that in my pocket for another time when I feel like being adventurous and all that jazz. All right, so that one, I do forget that using a tape runner versus glue tape does go faster. And you don't have to put it under an acrylic box all the time. The simple things in life that you remember as you change things. So I was going to do a travel one. I had to travel the world, but I really just like her by herself, chilling out. So for now, I'm going to leave her be, use my 3 foam dots, and pick a sentiment later. Again, putting this a little bit more up towards center. And the nice thing about using foam tape or foam dots is that if I need to remove it, it's a little easier versus if I had taped it down with the Scotch permanent tape, because that's all I could find. I can't even find my proper tape. But I've left space for that sentiment there, but if I need more space or I want to move her to the side or the other side based off of the direction of the sentiment, then I have options. So that is part 2 for me. It went a lot faster, mostly because obviously I had more stuff prepped I made 6 cards this time in less than a half an hour, which for me, yeah, that's 6. I can count. Which for me is amazing because sometimes even just cranking out 1.5 an hour is a chore. But I love them. I honestly can't even pick a favorite, sentiment or not. Like, these are just really uplifting, really adorable, and we're thinking spring. We're not spring yet. We did have a 60-degree day here in February, but today is not that. Hence why I'm like fully in the coziest sweater I could find. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. I hope you found some inspiration and, go out and buy the pad. I have my affiliate link down below to the Not Too Shabby shop. I always put it there just in case you're thinking you need to stock up on some goodies. Also, because I love promoting Jamie and her shop and her wonderful work. And yeah, I absolutely love this set, or both of these paper pads, and the ephemera. Super cute. I'm going to be real honest, I'm not a huge mouse person, but this ephemera pack is like, okay, maybe I'm a mouse person. I don't know. I'm not, like, I love seeing what people create with their little, like, all those stamp sets with the mice and all that. I love seeing what people create, but I'm like, that's not what I gravitate towards. This, I'm like, I could slam that entire ephemera pack in like 2 seconds because I really think they're so cute. And maybe it's just because they're already colored for me and I don't have to worry about gray on gray. Who knows? I'm just being honest though. So drop down a comment below. What was your favorite one? Do you like the idea of putting, leaving no sentiment and just saying, when I feel the occasion, I'm going to throw one on? Like, how do you talk through any of these kinds of projects? I love that I just kind of followed my heart with these patterns and just mixed and matched the shapes, the designs, and nothing's exactly the same. Everything's a little bit unique, but they're a cohesive bunch, and I love what I made. So anyways, thank you all for joining me today. I will have announcements, I hope very soon, of big, great, and amazing things coming up here. And yeah, I hope you all have a wonderful day. Don't forget to find the joy in your day and happy making. Bye!